Hello aspirants, welcome to KK Mathuba, Learn with Kiran sir. So let's start with the topic of complex numbers. So let's identify what are complex numbers, so where these numbers are helpful. So as you have studied linear equations in two variables, linear equation in one variables and quadratic equations. So let's talk the concept of quadratic equations and let's see that how it has been related with the complex numbers. You know that quadratic equation, the general equation of quadratic form is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a not equal to 0. In order to find out the solutions of this quadratic equation, there are many methods are there. So one is splitting the middle terms, you can find out the solutions. Second one is completing the square methods, you can find out the solution of it. And the third one is using quadratic formula, Seshadri's formulas. So let us look at what is that quadratic formula for any quadratic equations. So that quadratic formula is given by x equal to minus b plus or minus under root of d divided by 2a. So where d stands for discriminant and it is b square minus 4ac. You have learnt a concept of how to find out whether it has got a real roots, equal roots and no roots. Let's talk the concept of no roots. When no roots exist, we know that if d is less than 0, if d is less than 0, that means b square minus 4ac is less than 0, then I say that solution does not exist. So what is the meaning of it? Solution does not exist. It says that you cannot find any value of x wherein which discriminant is less than 0. So that means where does the solution exist for those type of quadratic equations? For example, if I consider example of x square plus x plus 4 is equal to 0. So let us look at whether d is less than 0 or not. So value of a is 1, b is equal to 1, c is equal to 4. You look at the discriminant value of this, b square minus 4ac, b square is 1, 4 into 1 into 4, so you will get as 1 minus 16, you will get as minus 15. So where does the problem arises? The problem arises here, square root of a negative number. So if you use the Seshadri's formula or a quadratic formula, minus b, so minus b is minus 1 plus or minus square root of minus 15 divided by 2 times of a. So this number, if you look at this number, does not exist in a real case. In real numbers, you know that the number line itself is your real number. So this number does not exist. Square root of negative number does not exist in the real numbers. You have studied about natural numbers. You extend the natural numbers, you will get a negative natural numbers. Then you will get a integers. Between two integers, we talk about rational numbers, irrational numbers, and whole together we talk it as real numbers. But if you look at this number, this is not a real number. So the question is, where does the solution exist for these kind of equations? And one simple example, x square plus 1 is equal to 0. Can you find out a solution for this? If x belongs to real numbers, you cannot able to find out solution because you see that x square is equal to minus 1, you will get it. But square of any real number cannot be negative, not possible. So no solution exists. But for any quadratic equation, I can able to find a solution. If it is not in a real number, it is in some number system where a solution exists. So what I have to do is, the main objective is to solve these type of quadratic equations where a discriminant is less than 0, having no solution in real numbers. So in order to find out these solutions, I need to extend my real number systems to a larger number system. So that larger number system itself we call it as complex numbers. So solution exists, these kind of quadratic equations, solution exists only in the complex numbers. So now the question arises, what are these complex numbers? What are its representations? How do I represent a complex number? So those we will discuss now. I think you got it. So note down up to here. So we understood what is the main objective of this complex number is to find out the solutions of a quadratic equation wherein which discriminant is less than 0. So how to denote that? So let us represent the square root of minus 1, square root of minus 1 by the symbol I. So that is, I write I is equal to square root of minus 1. So where I is also called as iota. So we are denoting a symbol of I as a root of minus 1, square root of minus 1. So then what is I square? I square is minus 1, correct? So if I square is minus 1, we know what is I power 3, I power 4, I power 5, I power 6, we can able to calculate it easily. So let us quickly find out what is I cube. So I can write it as I square into I power 1. I square is minus 1 into I. So this is minus I. So I cube is minus I. So then what about I power 4? It is I square into I square minus 1 into minus 1, which is plus 1. So here we got a one standard information that I power 4 is 1. That means if I take any multiple of 4, I will always get it as 1. So therefore, I can write I power 4 whole power n is always 1, where n belongs to natural numbers. You take any value of n. If I take n is equal to 2, so I power 4 into 2 is 8. I power 8 is 1. If I take n equal to 3, I power 4 into 3, 12. I power 12 is also 1. So such a standard result which we can easily observe from this. So we have denoted a symbol of I which is defined as root of minus 1. With this, we will define a complex number, a number of the form z is equal to a plus I into b is said to form a complex number. If a number is represented in this form and a complex number is usually denoted with a symbol z and it is been defined as a plus I into b, where a and b are real numbers, and a is called the real part of complex number and it is usually denoted by Re of z. Real part of complex number z is a and imaginary part of complex number z is denoted with a b. So any complex number will be of this form. Suppose for example if I write z is equal to minus 2 plus 3 into I. So this is a complex number. So where what is the real part of z? Real part of z is minus 2 and imaginary part of z is plus 3. Got it? Suppose if I write z is equal to square root of 2 minus square root of 5 into iota. What is the real part of this? Real part of z is root 2. Real part of z is root 2. And what is the imaginary part of z? Imaginary part of z is minus root 5. Understood? So these are your complex numbers. So we understood a number which is of the form a plus ib and where a and b are real numbers. They are real numbers. So let us write it as real numbers, real part of z and imaginary part of z. So once you understand what is a complex number, so next the concept comes, suppose given two complex numbers. If two complex numbers are equal, what is the implication of it? Next we need to learn about algebra of complex numbers. What is the geometrical representations, geometrical meaning of complex numbers? So that we will observe it. So hope you understand, students. Now down. So hope you have understood a complex number which is of the form a plus I into b, or even you can write x plus I into y. where x and y are real numbers. X will be the real part of complex number and y will be the imaginary part of complex number. Suppose for example, if I considered two complex number, I will represent it by z1. Z1 if I take it as a1 plus I into b1, and I will consider z2 as a2 plus I into b2. If I say these two complex number are equal, if z1 is equal to z2, what does it imply? It implies that a1 plus I into b1, that is equal to a2 plus I into b2. So this implies that a1 is equal to a2 and b1 is equal to b2. That means corresponding real part is equal and corresponding imaginary parts are equal. If two complex number are equal, if and only if the real parts are equal and corresponding their imaginary parts are equal. Suppose for example, if your z1 is, if I take it as x plus I into 3, and if your z2 is 3 plus I into y, I need to find out the value of x and y. Find x and y such that z1 is equal to z2. Can I able to say the answer easily? Two complex number are equal, that means their real parts will be equal. Similarly, their imaginary parts are equal. So what is the answer? What is the solution for this? The value of x will be 3 and the value of y is 3. Because these two complex number are equal, therefore their real part has to be equal and their imaginary part has to be equal. So hope this is quite simple and easy to understand when two complex numbers are equal. So next to talk about algebra of complex numbers. What are algebra of complex numbers? We need to know if we add two complex numbers, shall we get again a complex number? If we subtract, again will we get a complex number if we multiply two complex numbers. So those are called algebra of complex numbers. So let's start with concept of addition of two complex numbers. Addition of two complex number. So the first property, let us observe about closure law. What is meaning of closure law? Addition of two complex number is again a complex number, that we can easily observe it. If I considered z1 as a1 plus I into b1 and z2 as a2 plus I into b2, what is z1 plus z2? So z1 plus z2 will be sum of two real parts of this complex number plus I into b1 plus b2. So that you can easily observe it. And again this is a complex number because it has got its real part as well as the complex part, imaginary part of it. So therefore z1 plus z2 is again a complex number. So therefore it satisfies closure law. The sum of two complex number is again a complex number. I think you can easily able to identify it. If suppose z1 plus z2, if I talk about z2 plus z1, are they equal? Second property, z1 plus z2 is always equal to z2 plus z1, because if you add z2 plus z1, you will get a2 plus a1 plus I into b2 plus b1. So both are the same, that means it satisfies commutative law. It satisfies commutative law. So easily that you can observe it. The commutative law of the complex number with respect to addition of two complex numbers. So let us look at the third property. For a given complex number z, if I add with a complex number, I should get a complex number, the same complex number. So what should be this complex number? So this complex number has to be 0, 0 plus I into 0. If you want to represent this 0 as 0 plus I into 0. So this 0 is called additive identity of a complex number. So this 0 is called 0 plus I into 0 is called additive identity additive identity of a complex number z. Additive identity of any complex number z is 0 plus I into 0, which I can represent it as 0. The next property is, given a complex number z, there exists another complex number such that when you add these two complex number, you should get as 0 plus I into 0. Can you identify what is that complex number? So this has to be negative of a complex number minus z. So what does minus z stand for? If z is a plus I into b, minus z will be minus a minus I into b. If you add these two, you will get 0 plus I into 0. So this minus z is called additive inverse of a complex number with respect to the addition of two complex numbers. So we know that when two complex number is given, we know how to add, satisfying the commutative law, identifying the additive identity and additive inverse of a complex number. So this is with respect to addition of two complex numbers. In the next video, we will talk the concept of multiplying the two complex number, what are the properties it satisfies, and the most importantly, what is the geometrical representation of a complex number. How can I look complex number in a geometrical part of it? Can I able to relate with a one dimension axis or it is of two dimension? So that in the next video we will explain it. So hope this session you have understood the concept of complex number, introduction part, the main objective of the complex number, why this complex number has been introduced and what are the symbolic representations. So note down all these things. In the next session we will come up with the multiplication of two complex numbers. So hope you have learned all the concepts of complex number from the beginning. So keep watching students, keep learning. Thank you everyone.